Hi everyone. I'm going to have you take a little walk through the syllabus with me, and I'm also going to point out some features in Canvas that I use personally to help me navigate and stay on track with things. I use Sway, Microsoft Sway, to make my course level syllabus. It feels easier for me to navigate. I'm not a coder, so I don't know all the different codes and stuff like that. So I feel like it's pretty easy to set apart and chunk it in the way it is here. So, and I know there's YouTube videos on that. So if you haven't made a liquid syllabus yet, that's one way of humanizing your course. I encourage you to do so. If you need help, I'm happy to help you during student hours or make an appointment. So please reach out. If you're a faculty member at BC, I know our academic technology team is always around to help with those types of tasks as well. I also have a Google Sites where it's kind of like a generalized syllabus and that applies to everything, and then just little course links. But I haven't worked on that in a while, so if I finish updating it, I will post it just as an example. So the nice thing about Sway is it is accessible. You can change the accessibility settings by just clicking on the different things. So you have an accessibility view here. You can open it in a new tab. You can switch to a different view. So there's a lot of really great features to Sway's layouts. So our syllabus will have all the pertinent information, and I will not go over it in fine-tooth detail, but I will point out different things. I've also relisted our course description and learning outcomes and our objectives. And I do want you to know that they are linked to our SLOs, and sometimes the course objectives are linked back to our SLOs, and then also to some of the standards for rubrics and different course design and accessibility. So these dates are not updated because this is not due the very first day. So I'm going to update these dates. This is one of the features that I wanted to point out to you because I feel like it's a really clean kind of course calendar for our students. I know we have it in our syllabus, but this, when we point it out to them, kind of just reminds them and shows them that, and then they can navigate which one. Like, these are reminders, there's nothing due there, and kind of teach them what the little icons mean here, whether it's a discussion or that's a quiz and things like that. So I use that to help keep me on track if I'm ever taking a course. The other place in Canvas that you can do the same is out on calendar. I just prefer this. So I'm going to go ahead and make this large screen for us. We have a non-credit version going and a credit version going of this course. So I'll send out an email making sure you're all okay, that if we could maybe join in together since we have a small class. And if someone doesn't want to, then I'll have to keep the section separate. But I'm planning on having us do discussions together. So it's an 8-week course, fully asynchronous, but I'm happy to host online synchronous sessions where you can present your projects to me rather than uploading them, or you can present them to one another too. I would say get online and do peer reviews together. You will have a peer-reviewed project to do in here. So it is a 3-unit course. So a 3-unit course with the amount of work that a 3-unit course has, all squished into 8 weeks. So keep that in mind and try not to get behind, because then you may not finish the course. So, and it, depending on which section you're in, you'll either get a no pass or a not a good grade. All right. So our course description is basically just talks about, it's all about online learning environments, focusing on equity, making things accessible, unbiased, and just a good learning environment that feels like you're a real person behind the screen, talking with them, not robotic, so not AI. So I'm going to kind of weave some of that into our course, I may actually upload the syllabus and our course outcomes and some different things into Google LM. I don't know if you've used it or not, and create maybe a podcast or a overview video. And I would love to get your feedback on that from a student perspective, but also a professor perspective, because it does count as instructor created materials, which we need to meet certain standards. So always need that students accommodating. We really have 3 projects that all of our discussions will help us get ready to answer. And each project meets an SLO, so our student learning outcome. So one is going to be based on you actually integrating content, like maybe 2 pieces of ideas off of maybe equity standards into some course material that you have going already. So if you did take Education B30 and B31 and you already created maybe that 4-week unit plan, you can use that plan and just go back and tweak it with some of the content that we're learning about here. So you'll be doing equity, you'll be doing accessibility, and then you'll be doing humanizing. So, and a couple strategies, integration strategies for each one of those 3. And so then here's our course learning objectives again. There isn't any textbooks. These are some really great textbooks that I would recommend to you. This one is online on Kindle, really easy, but Smart Teaching just by itself is a really great book, and then Smart Teaching Online is a really nice book too. So again, contact, communication plan, and feedback information, which is a little bit of a repeat from our homepage, but that's how it's supposed to be. There's that video, and I will probably be posting the syllabus video on here. Something new I am trying, first time ever, I just signed up for it, is Pronto. So I'm going to go back into Canvas. I'll minimize this in a little bit and show you where Pronto is there. And this is all new for me, so we're going to be learning together. But what I love about it is that students can get this on an app on their phone, and it's like a separate app. It's not going to go to their messages or to, let's say, if they have GroupMe for sports or something else. This will be just academic. It'll be, an academic messaging place for them that will be mobile right on their phones, which we know the read rate is declining, right? Especially among our younger population. So please do scan this QR code and try to get that app. And then also inside Canvas, I'll show you what that looks like too. So I do have different sets of office hours here, Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays, different times. But if those times don't work for you, I'm happy to make an appointment as long as it works for both of our schedules. So I do have always said that Canvas inbox is my preferred method of communication. But if this Pronto things works, it may take over Canvas inbox for me. I'm not sure. I know you can do things if you've ever worked in Slack or GroupMe. You can upload pictures and video and share things, and so it's more of like a fun messaging group, but academically related. So I think it's going to be great. All right. If you need to get a hold of my department chair for some reason, that is Dr. Blay, and that's her email right there. And you can read through again those. It's not the full communication plan that's on our homepage, but it's an abbreviated one. Here's our important dates. Your work is all due the last day as far as work goes, and late work. I don't take any points off for late work. It's just that at the end, when you have a peer review project, it makes it hard for someone to get their peer review points if you don't submit your projects on time there. So try to make sure that final project is submitted on the due date, so then it gives a person at least a week to do the peer review. All right, and so it's going to be best if you do have a headset, a webcam, a microphone, so you can do recordings of your projects, but also for your students and things like that. So hopefully you are all there with that. There's all the different resources for online students, and you're an online student, so you are welcome to those. I will show you again that resources for success or to succeed page, and I have some direct links there that will take you there. So here's a bunch of the BC student success resources, so you can read through those and refer people to them or use them yourself. I do love the Renegade Pantry. Sometimes I grab some stuff from there. Policies and expectations. You really have to stay involved in the course. I'm not going to drop you unless I talk to you. But if you're going to go missing, just communicate with me. It's okay. Whatever, if you're not going to finish the course, if you want to drop, if you want to stay in it and then just retake it again. For those of you that are non-credit, if you're getting your grade, make sure you talk to me and your counselor before you do drop, and I will always reach out to you. But you do want to get active and get this first orientation module done by October, the first week, basically the first Monday after class starts. So you can read through all of these things. I do want to talk a little bit about artificial intelligence. So I'm okay if you play around with it and if you ask for ideas and suggestions. What I would like you to do is make sure that you are giving proper attribution. So if I do something and I was going to say, I used this for this, or I used that for that. So we can kind of leave that trail, because I feel like, it's not going away. We have to learn how to use it, not to offload our learning, but to use it to help us maybe spice things up, make them more interesting, come at things from different perspectives and angles, help us get better at asking questions. And I think that's one of the good things, to ask a good question. It takes critical thinking, and so maybe using it in that way with our students. So I guess my big question for the course that I'm going to try to be working on alongside with you guys is, how do we keep humanizing our course in the wake of AI? And what's that look like? And so I've started finding some sources there, and I'll be sharing some information with you as I find it. But that's kind of what I'm interested in this go round. So I will always let you redo anything. So let's say you looked at the rubric and you thought you had everything, but you missed one thing, right? So if you want to fix that one thing, or make it better, then you can resubmit and get the full points. So for this course, let's say you have at 85% and you're in the no credit course. If one of your modules is only at a 50%, you still don't pass, because each module is tied to learning outcome. And that's what we're looking for here, is that you're making sure that you reach that 80% mark. So that says that right down here. You have to earn 80% in each module to complete the non-credit course. And then the grade course will just work based on your grades. So that's how these are the grading categories. That's how they're separated apart. And here's our course calendar. And you basically have kind of one thing due a week, maybe a discussion post, and then your actual assessment, which will be integrating the different things into your course. So universal design for learning is one of the things that you're going to integrate into your course. That'll be the first thing we do. And then the Peralta equity rubric, and then accessibility standards, and the last is the humanizing part. So anyway, that is the syllabus. And this video is a little bit longer than I would like it to be, so I'm going to make just one more video, kind of overview. I guess I will hit some of the stuff that I haven't talked about that I want to talk about in our orientation overview. All right, thank you.